Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to crack open the playbook that the world's top companies use to win. We're breaking down the huge topic of business strategy into a super clear, quick guide, all based on the source material you see right here.
You ever look at giants like Apple or Amazon and just wonder, how do they do it? What's their secret sauce? Is it just that they have more money, or is there something deeper going on? Well, it turns out it's not luck at all. They operate from a very specific and well-thought-out playbook. And in this explainer, that's exactly what we're doing. We're walking you through the most important chapters of that playbook, turning all that dense business theory into smarts you can actually use.
Okay, let's dive right in, starting exactly where you have to start, with the blueprint for success. This is your master plan, or as we call it, your business strategy. So think of your business strategy as your company's North Star. It's the core idea that guides literally every single decision. I mean, just look at Apple. Their North Star has always been innovation, right? That's how they consistently make their products feel completely different from everything else out there. And building a strategy like that isn't just guesswork, it's a process. It all starts with the big dream, your vision. Then you got to get a reality check with a SWOT analysis. Looking at your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Only then do you actually formulate and roll out the plan, and you're constantly checking in and evaluating to make sure you're still on track. All right, so you've got your master plan. That's great, but a plan is kind of useless if you don't understand the battlefield you're about to walk onto, and that's where competitor analysis comes in. This basically means knowing your competition inside and out, and it never stops. Just think about Coca-Cola. You can bet they are relentlessly studying every single move Pepsi makes, from their pricing to their Super Bowl ads, so they can make smarter decisions themselves. So how do you actually analyze a whole market in a structured way? Well, a ton of leaders turn to a classic tool for this. It's called Porter's 5 Forces, and it's famous for one very simple reason. It's an incredibly powerful way to map out where the power really lies in any industry. See, these 5 forces are shaping every single industry. How easy is it for a new company to show up and compete? How much power do your suppliers and your customers have over you? Are there other things people could buy instead of your product? And of course, how brutal is the fight between the companies already there? The answers to these questions pretty much determine how profitable you can be. Now, this slide is great because it makes it real. The airline industry is just famously tough, right? And that's because the competitive rivalry is off the charts. But on the flip side, the threat of substitutes is actually pretty low. I mean, if you need to get across the country in a few hours, what's the alternative? A train? Not really. And boy, does this quote hit home. It just perfectly illustrates the stakes. If you ignore the competitive landscape, especially when technology is changing the rules, it can be absolutely catastrophic. Nokia used to be the mobile phone market, but they didn't adapt, and poof, their entire empire crumbled. Okay, let's keep building on this. A great strategy and a deep understanding of the market are crucial, but they are worth absolutely nothing without the right people to make it all happen. So now, let's turn our focus from the market to the real engine room, your team. To get your strategy off of a PowerPoint slide and into the real world, you need a high-performing team. And that all comes down to great performance management. It's this constant loop, right? You set really clear goals, you give people constant feedback to help them get there, you recognize them when they do awesome work, and you invest in their growth so they can tackle even bigger things next time. So here's the crucial part. How do you actually motivate your team? Sure. Financial incentives like bonuses matter. Of course they do. But there's another and maybe even more powerful lever you can pull. Empowerment. It's all about giving your team a real sense of ownership. So what does empowerment really mean? Well, it means you trust your team. Period. You do it by actually delegating, by sharing information so they know why they're doing what they're doing, and by giving them the freedom, the autonomy to make decisions without someone looking over their shoulder all the time. And if you want to see this in action, look no further than Google. They're famous for allowing their engineers to spend time on their own passion projects. And by doing that, they create this incredible culture of ownership that just fuels relentless innovation. All right, you've got the plan. You totally get the market. Your team is fired up and ready to go. Now, you need the right tools to bring it all together and keep the whole machine running. This is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Especially as you grow.
How do you keep everyone from finance to sales to engineering all aligned with that master plan? Well, this is where modern frameworks and technologies become absolutely essential. One of the most popular tools for this is called the Balanced Scorecard. It's basically a framework that translates your big, high level strategy into a clear set of things you can actually measure. And what's cool is it forces you to look beyond just the money and ask really tough questions about your customers, your internal operations, and your ability to keep learning. Now, to manage all the data you need for something like a balanced scorecard, companies rely on these massive systems called ERPs, or Enterprise Resource Planning Systems. The best way to think about an ERP is like the central nervous system of the entire company. The real magic of an ERP is that it just smashes through all the departmental silos. It pulls data from every corner of the business into one place. And that means you get more efficiency, you get real-time info, and ultimately, your leaders can make way better, faster decisions because everybody's looking at the same playbook. But here's the thing, the tools themselves are always changing. The modern toolkit is being completely rewritten by huge trends like cloud computing, AI, and the Internet of Things. I mean, each one of these is a total game changer. And that brings us to our final thoughts. We've just walked through the classic chapters of the business playbook: strategy, market, people, and tools. But with technology changing the rules of the game so fast, your playbook can't be a dusty old book on a shelf. It has to be a living, breathing thing, always ready to evolve. So the real question is, are you ready to write the next chapter?